again. And for those of you who are new, on our last episode of Science Saves Sharks. So sadly, guys, today is our last episode. Over the past 12 weeks, we've done 21 different episodes featuring 4 different marine biologists that work for us in the field here at the ICT and Marine Dynamics. And then also we've been just discussing various ocean related cool topics. And joining us today is no stranger to the Science Safe Shark series. It's Alison Towner. Hey Ali, how are you?
Hi everyone, good to be back again. I'm very well, thank you. Dickie, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Ali, can you believe it's been 12 weeks already?
It's crazy. I mean, can you remember how nervous we were on the first session? I don't even think I could speak. I was so nervous.
Yeah, I remember stuttering beforehand and everything, and now it's almost become second nature. So, guys, yeah, thanks for supporting us through this whole online transition. But today's session, Ali, you're going to be taking us through a bit of an intro on passive tracking. Now, in a previous episode, just before we went to Mossel Bay, you discussed the methods of tagging different. You discussed acoustic tags. So can you just take us again before we start off today, just through the different types of tags that there are?
Yeah, sure, Dickie. So there's various different tags that you can put onto sharks. And in the previous session, we talked about active tracking white sharks in hands-by through acoustic transmitters. So there's just a recap photograph of what we talked about last session, deploying the transmitter at the base of the dorsal fin of the shark, using the research boat and the bait line to get the animal close enough to deploy the tag, and then physically following the animal around in the field with a boat-based receiver in order to collect the information in real time as to where it goes. But just a quick rundown on the different types of tags, because we're going back to a same but different type of tag to the one previously discussed. But just to clear up, I know there'll be a lot of you that have joined in today that aren't familiar even of where we are or where the study site is, or even what a shark tag is. So we are based about 150 k's east of Cape Town, 2 hours in the car, in a study site called Hans Bay. So this coastal bay is where Dyer Island is located, which is 8 kilometers off Clenby Harbour. And this research site is an inshore reef system and a seal colony and also a bird colony. And this is where we've done most of our white shark research within this particular region. But to get to shark tags, just to quickly, it's quite a lot to get through today in kind of a summative way. You can see some pictures on the screen here of different devices to track shark movements. So top left-hand corner is an acoustic tag. We're going to get to those in a moment. But to run through the other types of tags, just so I can clear up, the differences. If we look on the right-hand side of the slide, the top right, we've got a PAT tag. And just below that, we've got a spot tag. So PAT stands for Pop-up Archival Transmitter, and SPOT stands for Smart Position Only tag. Now, these are 2 different types of satellite transmitters. And these are what biologists would deploy ordinarily to find out the long-term, large-scale movements of sharks. And as you can see, one is bolted on with an antenna, and one is sort of deployed very similarly to our acoustic tags at the base of the dorsal. And it's got sort of a round golf ball shape on it. That's actually a float. And so the PAT tag, what it does, it archives data of large-scale movement. And after usually around about 90 to 100 days, it pops off. So that float will allow the transmitter to come to the surface, and then the data is transmitted to the Argos system. Therefore, the researcher can download it. You can record things like temperature, depth, light levels, all sorts of interesting information. And incidentally, it was one of these types of tags that was put onto Nicole, which was a very famous great white shark that was tracked from Dyer Island all the way to Australia back in 2004 by Ramon Bonfil and his team. And we did discuss that in quite a few of our previous sessions. And at the bottom, the spot tag. So those are a little bit different. Of course, they're more invasive to attach, but they actually rely on the shark's dorsal fin breaking the surface, and then the information is transferred to the satellite. So those are sat tags, large-scale movement. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about acoustic tags, which use sound, and we're talking much more about coastal tracking of the species. But before we get to that, finally, we had to include this last type of tag in the bottom left-hand corner. It does look quite a lot different to the others. So this is quite a new design. It's a cat tag. So it's basically an animal-born camera within a tag, which is clamped onto the dorsal fin of the shark, and then it pops off after a pre-programmed time. And actually, one of our associate biologists, Oliver Jewell, who is now based in Western Australia, came down here in 2015 and put out 15 to 20 prototypes of this tag around Dyer Island on different individual great whites. That was in also collaboration with Monterey Bay and Salvador Jorgensen and Taylor Chappell, their team. And they've published some papers on this work already, particularly the methods paper and what they found at Dyer Island in the kelp. And I guess what makes these tags really unique is that you've got the camera element, but also you can get some metric data as well, tail bead, etc. And of course, you can record really novel things. There's also a VHF transmitter put onto this as well, so that the researchers can then locate the tag once it pops off and it's floating at sea. And Dickie, I think you've experienced that as well in the past when they came down here to do this work.
Yeah, I was very lucky enough to actually join Ollie and the team in not only deploying but retrieving these tags. And I remember one of the retrievals, actually, we had to go out in a storm because we knew if we didn't go out now, just when it started pinging, there was a massive storm moving through. We would never see the tag again. So we actually ended off behind Danger Point. We found the tag, which was really, really cool, but it was crazy. Such a real cool experience. So Ali, thank you very much for, hey, Dickie and Ali, thanks. Bob, hey, Bob, thanks for watching.
Hi, Bob. Bob's wonderful. He's always so supportive, and I think his daughter as well. Thank you, Bob. Hi.
Yeah, Tasha, well, we'll definitely try to put out some more stuff in the future, but for now, thank you very much for tuning in. Nikita Sharkbite always also tuning in. Thank you very much.
Hi, Tasha. Hi, Nikita.
Okay, cool. So Ali, on to my next question. And so in the previous session, for those of you that did tune in, you guys will remember, Ali, you were discussing using the VR100, which is the machine that picks up, using a hydrophone, picking up the pings off these acoustic tags, but that's physical, real-time, active tracking. But today you're discussing passive tracking. So these are also working with acoustic tags, but where does the passive part come into play?
Yeah, so these are effectively very much the same type of tag, but they're just coded differently. So your active pinger, basically using sound, it pings out over a series of months. Usually, I think the longest the battery life of a continuous pinger will last is about a year, and that's if the shark returns to the bay in the time that you're out there tracking. So I think the longest we got out of an active pinger was 80 hours on an individual, 80, for example. The passive tracking allows you to put a tag on that lasts for a lot longer, because the code space of the tag actually gives longevity to the battery life, but also it allows stationary nodes to be able to detect multiple different tags. So it's got its own unique ID sort of code space. So it's called an R-coded tag for random pulse. So these things require, rather than a boat following them around and collecting, very labor-intensive work in the field, collecting the data manually, receivers that are deployed stationarily on the seabed. So in this photograph, you can see a VR2W. So this is our standard acoustic receiver, stroke hydrophone that we put in the ocean. And you can see they're pretty small in size. They're about, say, the same size as a litre bottle of Coke, for example. And they are attached to a mooring, and then they have floats to keep them stationary in the water. Usually two trawl buoys would work quite well. And then these nodes, actually, these units require the animal to swim within their detection range or past them in order to be able to receive the data. And the data they collect are ID code, so that unique code space, date and time. And we'll get onto the whole national array in a bit and all the different types of animals that are tagged, but it doesn't discriminate. It picks up every type of tag, as long as it's the one that talks to it that swims past. So these things need to be retrieved and downloaded, and then the information transferred from the receiver to the laptop so the scientists can use the information.
Awesome. So Ali, yeah, great stuff. So basically what I'm getting from this is we're using the hydrophones VR100 in the one setting, but with the active tracking. But with the passive tracking, you've got these hydrophones, or receivers as we call them, on the seabed, and these are the ones that we've been diving out or diving in here in our area, your one, since 2015.
Yeah, correct. And, we dive them sort of into depths of between 20 meters, 25 meters. They can go down to depths of, I think, over 80 meters is the deepest that they've got along the coast here. And exactly as we said, Dickie, so they've got a detection range, and that depends very much on the marine environment they're in. So the range testing we've done here in Hansby shows us that the closer inshore the receiver's placed, or more turbulent the water is, the lower the detection range. So the nearer to the receiver the animal would have to swim. So usually about 800 meters to a kilometer would be a really good detection range for great conditions. But some of the ones very close inshore can be less than 600 meters detection range. But yeah, so then what we do is we physically roll them over or dive them out, depending on whether they are part of the national array or whether they're part of our own private array. So this is a very non-flattering photo of me with an interrogator. So this is actually a device that we use to pop up the receivers that have acoustic releases. This talk's a bit technical, guys. I do ask you to bear with us, but we're going to work through it. So basically, these are parts of our national array of receivers, ATAP. I'm going to get all onto ATAP in a moment. In order to bring them out the water, we go out with a boat. We actually went out there last week and did this. Behind Dyer Island, there you can see our colleague Ralph Watson looking very happy and salty in the field. He's got his interrogator on his lap. So you press, basically you activate a signal to go down to the acoustic release on the receiver, and there's a galvanic reaction on the release, which then causes the unit with the trawl floats to pop up and the release. And then depending on how the conditions are, or how good you are at positioning the boat near to the receiver, that wait time for the receiver to pop up can range anywhere from, I mean, we've had them in less than 7 minutes, or if you like my colleague Alison Cock in Cape Town, shame she was off hand clip and I had to wait 5 hours the one day in a 3 meter swell. Yeah,
that's incredible. That's wow. Yeah. 5 hours, 3 meter swells. That's rough.
Yeah, so I mean, look, that's the nature of doing work at sea. But this diagram here, you can see the one setup, the mooring on the right has the acoustic release, so that would be part of the national array. And these things we actually roll over twice a year. The one on the left-hand side is part of our own private array, which I'm going to be honest, has less funding. So the acoustic release is negated for this, and the hardcore diving is on cue. And these ones we leave in for up to a year. They have a battery life soak time of about a year. And then super duper divers like Dickie and the team get on in there and go and actually physically dive these out to retrieve the data.
Awesome. Guys, I think we have a clip just to show you guys more or less what they look like under the water, just so you guys can see. These are the ones that Ali just discussed that we actually have to dive out in order to get them back, not the ATAP ones that are acoustically released. So there you can see the receiver and the diver. And yeah, that's basically what they look like underwater. So Ali, with that brings me on to my next question, or my next, when leaving equipment under the ocean, obviously not only is this equipment expensive, but you're leaving it in a pretty harsh environment. I mean, there's so many different factors acting upon these receivers under the water. There's got to be some cool stories or mishaps that have happened that you can tell us about, because I can think about one or two.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about this series. We're able to sort of reflect back on all the stories and the experiences, because obviously doing research at sea is challenging, and anyone that gets into marine biology, I guess, must be willing to accept the fact that if you're going to purchase research equipment and put it in the ocean, it's most likely going to get some kind of a battering in some way. And so I mean, some of the classic stories, we are in the Cape of Storms, right? So we've had a couple of our units, not many, have washed away in storms. And I guess the positive to that is we've had members of the public return them to us, but in the most far-flung, unimaginable places. So one story that stands in mind is a receiver off the back of Dyer Island made it the whole way to Stilby, which I guess is like 400 kilometers down the coast or something. And it just must have got caught in a current or a gyre, and they returned that back to us, which was fantastic. Well, actually, they returned it back to ATAP. And yeah, we've had them pop up on platforms like Gumtree before. I think Alison spotted one on Gumtree for 350 Rand. So
bargain, but still, that's so funny.
Yeah, exactly. And then things like boat propellers out there with this equipment. So there can be, cutting and slicing of gear. And again, it just all goes down to, the trials and tribulations of putting expensive research equipment in the sea. But when you start to see the data and the amount of the wealth of information we get back off our network and our private array, it's just phenomenal. So yeah. And Dickie, you've had some experiences diving and actually
I've actually, I just wanted to mention that. Do you remember that one receiver at the plot? Not only did I get the biggest fright of my life when looking for it, because it was pitch black out under the water. And I just remember this Cape fur seal swimming into me out of nothingness. I don't know who got a bigger fright, myself or it, but both of us just like froze under the water. And I think that was the first day my heart stopped. But remember, Ali, we looked for that receiver quite a few times, and I think we concluded at the end that one of the bigger fishing trawlers must have picked it up with its net, and even if it didn't pick it up all the way, it must have just moved it, given the location that the receiver was placed. It could have just moved it if it moves by 50 meters, guys, it's incredibly difficult to retrieve this. Again, the GPS coordinates need to be quite spot on in order for you to retrieve this equipment again.
Yeah, and absolutely. The sand shifts as well. These are dynamic environments, and changing all the time. So it just causes, if a simple sand drift buried it, you likelihood is that you wouldn't find it again. And particularly in estuarine areas, you've got that situation as well.
Yeah, I remember once one of our estuary dives that we actually did for the receivers. You guys just saw on the previous video how tall they're actually standing up under the water, and we had one covered so thick in sand that just that little top float was sticking out. It's still incredible that we found it. So there is incredible shifts occurring under the water, especially around the estuaries. So even retrieving this equipment is always, when we get it back, it's always a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a commercial diver, so I suppose those skill sets are really needed for this kind of stuff, particularly with scientific diving in rough, sharky seas. But yeah, so that's the basic rundown of, I guess, the trials and tribulations.
So then I can move on to saying, Ali, obviously you mentioned ATAP now and your PhD project, and we're maintaining some of these ATAP receivers in Gansbaai, and they're obviously part of a bigger national array of receivers. So how many receivers would there be in this network? And also, are they just looking at great white sharks?
Absolutely not. So this is the coolest platform, and proudly South African, may I say. It's wonderful. So this is the Acoustic Tracking Array Platform. That's what ATAP stands for. Now, this picture goes back to 2015, 2016, so it's a little bit older. But visually what it does is it shows you all the organizations involved, and it's a lot of acronyms, but we've got the NRF's SIAB, so the South African Institute of Aquatic Biodiversity. They're based up there in Grahamstown, Rhodes University. Save Our Seas Foundation, who have provided a lot of funds towards the equipment and the tags. And so these guys are basically maintaining the array, and they have the whole network rolled out from, it's the Berg estuary on the west coast, right the way up to Mozambique and into Mozambique now, I believe. I think we're at around 200 different units. That's more of a recent image, actually. And multiple species being tracked on this array. I think around about 40 to 50 different marine species now are being picked up on these receivers. Of course, they are largely coastal. And so, yeah, if animals move offshore and migrate into the depths, then they're not going to be detected on this network. But the amount of movement data that you can get from this and the collaboration is just wonderful. So we're learning all sorts of fascinating things about species we really didn't know. So this is Taryn. She's a colleague of ours, and she's really worked hard. I think she's postdoc now, and she's a mother of two. And there she is with some of the ATAP receivers. I think those were from Port Elizabeth. I would recommend, guys, go onto Instagram. They have a page for ATAP. It's ATAP_ZA, and they update constantly with really cool information about where different species of fish have been found and what they've learned. But it's a lot of work. So maintaining the array and, cleaning off all the biofouling. Taryn would be in charge of all the data management and distributing the data between different research organizations and NGOs. And then we've got Matt Parkinson, who is the techie, and he's doing all the diving. And again, also all the he's actually in charge of the data now as well. It was Taryn, I apologize, it's now Matt. And so, yeah, that's basically the platform. And Dr. Paul Cowley as well, he's based with Wild Oceans and SciAb, and he is very much sort of spearheaded this whole program. So yeah, about 40 different marine species. We've got everything. So definitely not just white sharks. We're talking about, yes, other large predatory sharks, bull sharks, tigers, but then, you know, all the different cool little endemic species that we really know so little about. So all your different cat shark species, you know, we've got flat-nosed hound sharks, which are super, super endemic up on the south coast of Durban, up into Ponderland. Different ray species, so duck-billed rays and diamond rays. And just to like run down some of the really cool information, I mean, I'm just going to select a few individuals that have really stood out as being, you know, wow factor movements. So we've got a diamond ray that Matt tagged, I believe, which swam sort of 400 kilometers in 40 days. So showing us movement of, yeah, extreme scale.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and so we've got estuarine fish, we've got species like kingfish, leerfish that actually swam from the Berg estuary into the Breda. Now, as far as South African geography goes, if you think about where our major marine protected area is, it's kind of central south coast, and it's just next to the Breda River estuary. Such incredible migrations have come out of that specific river system. It's fascinating. So that leerfish in particular, we've had one of Alison Cox's 7-gill cow sharks went from False Bay into the Breda River estuary. Bull sharks that have come out of the Breda River estuary and gone right the way up into Mozambique. Yeah, that was Dr. Ryan Daly's animal. So I think it's African Shark Diaries on Instagram. If you go on ATAP's page, you're going to find all this really cool information. But yeah, so that bull shark swam like 3,500 kilometers up into the Mozambique Channel. I can just keep naming off examples, but I think one really important thing, it's all well and good saying, oh, well, these are really novel, cool migrations. The estuarine fish, I mean, the importance to science, you know, from showing how critical those estuaries are to different species of fish. It's phenomenal, you know, spotted grunters that basically don't leave river systems, that stay for like 3 years in the same system. And that combined with the expansion of MPA coverage in South Africa, this information is integral to it. So making sure that we have animals protected in the places that are of highest importance to them, but also figuring out where these animals go when they're not in their typical ranges. And I think most of these scientists involved in ATAP have had some absolute surprises in their data sets. With the white sharks, we've basically gotten the same movements we've known from in the past. So this kind of eastward migration from the Western Cape up into Mozambique. But again, it's just really nice to be able to keep log of those animals for multiple years. And remember, sorry, I know I'm talking quite lengthy here, but the external tags the external tags on the white sharks obviously shed after a couple of years. There are also a lot of these species are having internal tags put in. So actually just a searcher, sort of the tag implanted just beneath the surface, beneath the skin underneath the shark. So yeah, it's quite, I don't know why we decided to summarize this, because it's a whole bunch of information, but just, if anything, the takeaway here is that there is a huge collaborative platform going on, some really novel information coming out from a whole multitude of species. And yeah, we don't stop learning with it.
Well, at least still, man, I know this is a lot to summarize, but I think you've nailed the summary on the head. Definitely. And thank you for this brief introduction and summary of what passive tracking really is, because I never knew it stretched that far, you know, and you can track animals over hundreds of kilometers essentially along the South African coastline. And the fact that it's not only just white sharks, but a whole different array of animals. And one thing that I think you mentioned that is very important is the fact that the study, how this can contribute to MPAs and seeing where is really necessary to extend MPAs or keeping them in place, etc. So I think this ATAP system is a wonderful system. And also,
remember, sorry, Dickie, remember as well, there's international platforms of the same type, which are sort of unified under OTM, which is the Oceanographic Tracking Network. So let's say our friends in Australia and New Zealand, Canada, North America, all have similar type networks to what we have down here with ATAP, and everybody communicates. You know, there's conferences that happen every few years, and obviously if any of the fish make epic swims transoceanic, then there's a way of picking that up. So yeah, just important to just mention that as well, I guess.
Yeah, man, Ali. So thank you very much. And this has been really, really cool. I always learn something really cool when I 440 days. Like, sorry guys, that's still blowing my mind. That's incredible. It's incredible the things that you can pick up with this. But guys, we have a surprise for you since today is our last session. In the beginning of this show, I mentioned over the past 12 weeks, we had 21 different episodes with 4 of our marine biologists, some really cool ocean topics. So these guys also just want to join in. I think they're backstage right now. They also just want to join in, say their thanks. And then afterwards, we are going to announce the YouTube winner for our contest for subscribing. Hello guys, what's up? So we've got Kelly Baker, Alina Preshkina, and Ralph Watson. Hey guys, what's up?
Hello guys, great session.
Hello.
Okay, so guys, Kelly, what's up, man?
Not much. Great to see we've made it through these sessions. Thank you to everyone for your interest and also your interactions. And I hope everyone has enjoyed and learned a little bit about some of the work that we do here.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. Ralph, you've got some great news to tell us, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. So in the scientific field, well, collaborating with other scientists from Stellenbosch and around South Africa, one of our papers got published day before yesterday. So it's on the little endemic cat sharks, the puff-headed shy sharks and the dark shy sharks that we get here in South Africa. And working with genetics, we've basically identified that there's a lot of hybridization going on between the species, and which has phenomenal management implications in saving or like protecting these endemic shy shark species. So yay, good news.
Yeah,
yay, congratulations, team. That was awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, Ralph. Congratulations. Hey, Tasha, thank you very much for still staying tuned in. William, hey, Nipe, what's up?
St. Alina. Hi from St. Alina.
So it's Alina's turn. Hey, Alina. So, hey,
Hi,
Alina.
guys. We're all overwhelmed with people commenting. Hi, everyone. Aletta. Yeah, it is amazing to guys to be actually together, all of us at one session. Congratulations to us. And guys, thank you so much for watching us. And hopefully there's going to be people enjoying us later as well.
Couldn't help myself.
We just like to thank everyone for joining, and for those who kept coming back to us, thank you so much. Cheers, Tasha. It was really, really cool to have you around for such a long time.
Yeah, man. Guys, thank you very much. And you guys, Ali was saying in the beginning of the session, remember how nervous all of us were in the beginning when we first started doing these, and now it's almost like second nature.
It's like serious dry mouth. Yeah.
What does that say, Alina? You can obviously.
It's just I got a special hello from Russia.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Привет.
No, it's been really wonderful. Yeah, I just want to say also a huge, great, big thank you to everyone and putting up with, I guess me and Dickie the last 2 weeks now. It's been really nice. And I guess just such a diversity of research that's going on within this little area that's all funded by tourism. So I guess, just thanks for all the support. We do need it very much right now. But Dickie, you have, I think, an announcement to make for the competition, don't you?
Yeah, guys. So I will be doing a draw in a little while, just to announce our winner for a shark cage diving experience for 2 people that is valid for 3 years, and that will be all our subscribers that from the 8th of May, when Science Safe Sharks started, until now have subscribed to our YouTube channel. So I will be drawing that pretty shortly. But once again, we just wanted to say thank you from our side, guys, and thank you guys. It's been really, really cool having you guys on these shows, and thank you for the amazing work that you guys do. I mean, I always have a blast just when talking to you guys, learning from you guys. And just from my side, I want to say thank you, because you guys make my life a hell of a lot cooler when I get to do cool sciencey stuff with you guys.
Cheers,
much
Dickie.
love.
Dickie.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
thank
for
you, Dickie,
hosting
for
us.
hosting.
Yeah, man, it's been so much fun. I've had such a blast doing it. So, guys, what's up next? Should I announce the winner yet? Oh no, Ali. Oh damn, I almost forgot. Oh, I didn't say goodbye. Get
Bye, guys.
nervous. Get nervous all of a sudden. But Ali, we have an announcement to make about Shark Week that's coming up in August.
Yes, we're both very much involved in that. Sorry, I see Bob's question just came up now when everyone left. I think that was for everybody. So what we can maybe do is have the rest of the team answer that in the comments section. But it's a nice question. What was your most rewarding experience while chasing your dream job? Do you want to answer first, Dickie? I'm assuming you've got your dream job because you work on Shark Week, which seems to be your groove. But yeah.
Well, not just the Shark Week. It's almost basically the whole shark. What sharks have allowed me to accomplish in my life, and that is first and foremost, I mean, I'm passionate about animal conservation, and Shark Week, as well as working for the Island Conservation Trust and working for Marine Dynamics, have allowed me not only to realize my dream of working on the ocean and learning and working with these animals in a way, but also being able to protect them on not only just the sharks, but the penguins, the seals, the everything that I get to do, and being involved in the conservation work. So it's opened up massive doors for me, and I get to travel and learn and experience wildlife all over the world. So I think just having my dream job is basically just the best part of having my dream job, if that makes any sense.
Very profound. I thought that made a lot of sense. And I'm with you there, Dickie. I can completely relate. I mean, what a privilege to be out there in the ocean and studying the animals that you dreamed of working with. I wouldn't say there's all that many opportunities out there. And certainly there's a real lack of funding in the field when you're in the scientific sector specifically. But the amount of opportunities we've had, particularly from the Dyer Island Conservation Trust and the model build up with the ecotourism and marine dynamics, it's just been exceptional. So it wouldn't have been possible without all of the support from our international and national guests. So big gratitude there. And for me, yeah, just meeting incredible people along the way, making some really solid friends and peers in the field. But ultimately, the learning experience that we've got on these individual animals is, and how the whole ecosystem's connected out there, how fragile it is. It's just all, yeah, it's all such a journey. So that was a really good question, Bob, but I think a huge amount of detail could be put into the answer there. Hi, Roger. Sorry, hi, Alison. Are the tags reusable? If so, how many times can they be used? If not, how much are they and how can I help? So the acoustic tags are about $800 US, probably about $1,000 now. So it's just horrific with the exchange rate. The South African rand, I don't even want to, well, maybe somebody can do the conversion, but it's at an all-time low. So for us to buy tags, it's extremely expensive, Roger. So absolutely, if we can get them back, we'll reuse them. And that does happen, particularly in fisheries, caught species. Let's say an angler catches a fish and finds an internal tag inside of it. He'll then return it to ATAP. There'll be a number on the transmitter, and then it can be put out. It all depends on the battery life of the transmitter as well. So let's say it's a 10-year tag and it's only been pinging for 2 years, then you can hopefully get another 8 years out of it. So that's how it works. Yeah, great question. And thank you for asking how you can help. Dyer Island Conservation Trust website, there is a donation option if anybody would like to get involved there.
Yeah, guys, and especially we've mentioned it quite a bit along these sessions, and that was an excellent answer, Ali. But we are largely also funded by the tourism, the fact that we have feet moving through our doors on a regular basis, and now during COVID, obviously, all of that just stopped immediately. So if you guys want to see how you guys can help forward this research and just help us with our conservation efforts and the team's research, you can check for donations on dict.org.za. We appreciate every bit that we can get. So thank you very much from my side again, Ali. It's been really, really cool. And guys, definitely check out Shark Week this year. Ali and I are in a number of the shows. We really think there's some cool viewing content out there for you guys. And we had a lot of fun producing it as well.
Yeah, I think it's the opening show, isn't it? They've actually released the schedule now. So we're part of the Air Draw series, which is very much unique to South Africa. And it's been going for now well over how many years? 10 years? Longer? 20 years?
Longer. I
20
think
years.
I think it's almost 30 years. Well, guys, Shark Week has been going on for 20 years, 30 years. I'm not sure.
I think Jeff's been producing for 30 years. Maybe we should really know this. Anyway, it's been going for a really long time. That's the first show that I think we're in. So, yes.
Yeah, guys. So we're kicking off Shark Week this year. Definitely check it out. Air Jaws, I'm just seeing a comment there, has been going for 19 years. So that's cool. This year might make it around 20. I'm not quite sure. We should actually know this. You're 100% right. But guys, definitely will be on some of the shows. Be sure to check it out. It's going to be some great viewing. And Ali, from my side, once again, thank you very much. It's been awesome having you on.
Thank you, Dickie. It's been so cool just, sharing our experiences and the laughs along the way. And it's just nice to speak about things in a more lighthearted way instead of it all being so scientific all the time in lectures. We can actually just have a nice conversation and share this knowledge with people from all over the world. That's what the technology has allowed us to do. So thank you. You've been a fantastic host. That's definitely your superpower, as well as many other things in life. So yes, thanks a lot, Dickie.
Thank you, Ali, and look forward to seeing you on the sea again soon.
Sure. Okay, are you going to do a draw or?
Yeah. So guys, what's happening next is we've got our little hammerhead with our mohawk here, and in it I have put all the names of the people who have subscribed to our YouTube from the 8th of May, when we actually started the show 12 weeks ago. Guys, so I just want to say thank you very much, everybody that has been listening. And guys, thank you for subscribing to our YouTube. We want to take this further in the future. We definitely want to start doing live streams out in nature when streaming from our YouTube, and you guys have helped made that possible. So stay tuned for more shows. We're going to start another series as well that's going to be very cool. And we'll keep you guys updated on all our platforms on our next series, and also when we're going to start live streaming from the field. But for now, some lucky person is going to win a voucher basically to come dive with us at Marine Dynamics Shark Cage Diving. You'll be able to come out with us. And it's valid for the next 3 years, and it is for 2 people. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to shake the stuff around, and then we're going to see what we get from the Mohawk and who will be joining us. So everybody can see my eyes closed. Can you see my eyes are closed? I'm going to shake things up. Let's just see. Okay, cool. So let's see who this is. Is this anyone? There we go. Valeria 8. And she subscribed on 29 May 2020. So I think that's a subscription date. So you can contact us. We'll obviously contact you as well. But if you're watching this now, you can send an email to marketing@marinedynamicstravel.com, and looking very much forward as soon as international travel opens up again. Into South Africa, which I'm not sure if it has, but we definitely look forward to seeing you for an incredible shark cage diving experience. And we'll obviously go by Dyer Island as well. You can check out the seal colonies. We often see a lot of other cool wildlife as well. So thank you very much, Valeria, for subscribing, and the rest of you, stay tuned on our YouTube. Hit that notification button, because we've actually been working on a few cool videos to show you guys as well. So if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. And check out our YouTube. So from my side, guys, thank you very much for staying tuned in on the show and joining us. It's been really cool being able to host something like this, and we've been working on some new shows. So thank you very much for joining us, and have an epic day further. Thank you.